Sticky Trifle Podcast. Welcome to the Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And this week on podcast 39, I'm going to meet somebody that has done so much, especially in the struggles of her own daughter, which is Corin. But the struggles haven't just been about her own daughter. It's also been about Rona also, and how she has coped and moved forward. But how has she managed it? We're about to find out. And she takes a lot of peace out of the countryside and everything it offers. And it's such a nice, quiet place.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And welcome once again. It's number 39 on a Sticky Trifle Podcast. For are we?
Kininmonth.
Kininmonth. Do you like this place?
Aye.
Do you?
Fine and quiet.
It's peaceful, is it? I feel like I'm like out in hillbilly country or something. Am I wrong saying that?
Country yokel, maybe.
Aye. Right, and you are, can we say, is it Rona Roux?
That's just my nickname. Rona Roux.
Right, I say Rona Roux, so Rona Roux. Mm-hmm. Okay, so, but that's not your last name now, is it?
No.
Is it Rona Valentine?
Yes.
Right, because you're married?
Yep,
okay. Now, listen, do you take a drink?
Oh, aye, like a fish.
Oh, she drinks like a fish, I did hear that, so. Listen, I've got in some Black Tower Rosé, is that alright?
Yeah, that's fine.
Are we going to have a sip of this? Have you tasted this before?
Yep.
Ching. Right, cheers. Oh, I'm ready for a garden party, the after party now. Aye, yep, okay. Right, good to see you. Now, Corin was on like a month or so ago, and it was really great to hear her on and see the difference in her now lately. It's like so positive. Kind of difference for like the last video I did with her. Right, so we're in Kininmonth. And how long you been here?
Just over 5 years, I think.
And why did you come out here, by way of Rona?
We didn't like people.
Right, that's a very good idea to come out here and I kind of feel it. Right, so you do like people, okay? Right, she's joking, by the way. She does like people.
No joking.
Right, so
no, well, we couldn't abide in tune.
You didn't like people.
We didn't like to abide in tune. We need peace and quiet. And well.
So, what do you mean by tune? Far was it before? Far was it originally?
Born and bred in Broch.
Okay, and then you moved to somewhere else?
We moved to Kininmonth, but closer to New Leeds on the main road, so we didn't like the main road.
Was it New Leeds?
Aye.
Aye, okay. And how long did you bike New Leeds for, kind of? Was that a few years now?
6 years, 7 years.
6 years. So, and you've been this place, did you say?
5, I think.
So do you move every 6 years? Are you going to want to move again?
No way. No.
Right.
No way.
No, I like for you, right? You've got loads of room out here, is it? And you really are right out in the country. This is like it's just a little track road and it takes you here, and it's really peaceful. Now, I was going to mention, like, if it happened when you left school, so like, you left school, and what did you do career-wise? Did you have a career?
I just fit up. I went to fish.
So you were at a fish factory?
Aye.
Okay, what in was that?
I worked at McFish for a while.
Did you enjoy it?
Aye, I liked it. It's a job with no worries.
But like, was it? You've got early morning starts. Am I right saying that?
It was 6 to 2 I did.
Aye, so he's up at like 5 in the morning, kind of thing.
Aye, but you do the rest of the day yourself. So.
Aye.
And so near like a 9 to 5 job, and then you're going home at supper time and you kind of get nothing done. You're finishing at 2 o'clock. You can still get out your shop and nothing done through the week, and then the weekends, yours to party.
So you was working at a fish, and your husband would come in a scene for. He was a boyfriend at the time, I presume. Later on.
No, I was well after.
That was well after. Right. Okay. So how did you two meet, by the way?
Oh, we kent each other from school.
Aye.
We'd met at school.
Was it love at first sight?
No.
For maybe it was for him, not for you maybe. so it actually happened there, and so he went, oh, how's it going?
Well, we didn't start going together until I was a lot older.
Aye.
We wasn't going together in school and stuff.
So like and I've spoken to a few folk, and it's kind of strange because with relationships, I notice sometimes the foundation lies in caring each other for years back. So was this in like academy days you came each other?
Mm-hmm.
Aye. So it kind of came back full circle with as far. It was like, well, we ken each other, and aye. And so he's got married. No,
we lived in sin.
Oh right, okay, right. So, but you're married now.
We do a thing here, sort of.
Right, okay. Okay, right. So but you're married now.
We are married.
Right, you are married now, and you've got Rohan, which is your son. He's what age is he now?
He's 11. He'll be 12 this year.
He's 11, coming on 12. And Coran,
and she's 7.
Coran's coming on 7.
8. No, coming on 8.
She's coming on 8. Okay. And you've also got pets.
Yeah.
Cats. If you notice, you might have noticed at the start of the video a cat going about. So that's one of them.
Yeah.
Sistine. Is she here?
She's here.
She's here. So that's Sistine, which is Coran's cat.
She's Coran's cat, yes.
And you've another
3. We've another 3. So Sistine's brother's pure black. That's Snape. That's Rohan's cat. And the other one, there's another black cat. That's the old wifey. That's Spook. She's mine. And with a tortoise shell.
So how do you get from 1 to 4 cats, by the way? Because like you started off with 1, did you?
Started off with 2.
Aye.
Because I got sisters.
And so how did this other 2 appear? You just went, I'm wanting another one.
Oh no, the sisters, there was 2 black cats. We lost one of them on the road, unfortunately. And then our other one, our 3rd cat would have been Smeagol. She was a pal for work, had kittens.
And you just kind of fell in love when you seen this kitten?
Oh no, I was like, I'll take it. Nobody else wants it, I'll take it.
And so does Paul going, no, that's it, we're not here to name our cats, we've got 1, we've got 2, we've 3, we've got...
Every day.
Aye, right, okay. And
then Sistine and Snape, we got them because the kids wanted him and Paul was offshore and didn't care.
So you just went behind his back and he went, what's this? And you're going, that's another cat. Aye.
Found them.
So see with the cats, do they go in the house?
Aye, they've got a cat flap.
So they're in the house, and is it expensive like more cats? Because like cat food and...
Not really, because they're hunters, so...
Are there something sticking like mouses and stuff in the house?
Mice, birds...
Does that horrify you, by the way, if you get up in the morning and there's a dead bird or something? No. But it does happen?
Oh, aye.
Aye, right, okay. Because I'd be taking a heart attack. I'd be going, oh, are you joking? It's like,
no, you get used to it.
Aye, okay.
You get used to it, and I'm not squeamish, so... Fortunately.
Right, so we've got the cards going on. Now, you've got new additions lately, which is mouses. Am I right saying that?
We've got 8 mice, yeah.
And that's mouses, am I right in saying, because Coran mentioned in a video how one of the cats had took in a mouse.
Aye.
But was it alive?
Her cat took in a baby moose. A couple of months ago, 2-3 months ago, and it was too little to put back out because I didn't care where the nest was, and it would have just died straight away. So I decided to keep it,
which is really good.
And so we got her strong enough to the point where she was eating on her own and quite able. So as soon as she was able, we put her out to make her NY, because she's a wild animal. You can't keep a wild animal.
And so how much mouse has you got now?
Well, after we let her out, I was missing her, so I went and got 3 pet mice.
So we've got cats, mouse, is that it?
Yes.
And it will bide like that. There might be more to come down the line, aye?
No comment. I've got lizards as well, but I don't own them anymore.
So they're not in your house?
No, when Corin got no wheel, we had to give them up. So they're at Willows. So I kind of wait for Willows to open again so I can go and see my lizards.
Wow. Now, see if we're getting into like last year, Rona, obviously you had a lot going on last few years, but last year maybe more so, we had lockdown happening, and you had to kind of keep Corin more in isolation than most normal requirements.
We was on a shielding list, so.
Aye. How did you find it? How did you find like lockdown last year?
It was okay. Sorry, cat. It was okay. I think because we're used to being out here for its quiet and we're used to our own company, we maybe didn't find it as hard as folk that are used to being surrounded by folk. I'm a bit of a loner anyway, so in a way it was quite fine, because I think we'd been trying to do with Corin to keep her isolated from folk while she was getting treatment. Nobody else was doing it then, so it was easy for us. We'd been doing it for a year beforehand. And
what your own like mindset in that though, or last few years?
That's took a steady decline. I'm not going to lie. I think because you're so focused on the bearing, and I think it was about her, getting her better, making sure that her brother wasn't missing out. And as a parent, you just don't bother about yourself.
I want to say that because you're spending so much energy looking after her. It travels back and forth, whether it was Aberdeen or even further.
Aye.
And so like there's no time for you, was there?
No.
And even like you're married in a relationship, it must have been really like
fraught and
pushed.
Stressful.
Aye. Yep,
because she's difficult to handle. I'm not going to lie. She still is. The stress that she's been put through, and treatment's horrific. It's barbaric for adults, so it's horrific for kids.
But and you have to watch this and that.
And I have to watch. I have to pin her down and let him do it to her while she's screaming and hitting me and telling me she hates me.
And so like emotionally,
you switch off.
Aye.
And then, as it says, come lockdown, we're at the point where we're like, oh, we can go back to normal now, and then pandemic hits, and I'm left there sitting, twiddling my thumbs going, well, what am I supposed to do?
Yep.
She's no treatment now, so I'm not needed for that. We've no us now, so I've not to do that, and then I'm just sitting stuck in the house, can't see my pals, can't go and hold there, can't do other things that we'd planned to do with her, and then nothing just comes crashing over you like a wave, just like the, hold on, I've had this wall built for 2 years, and then a big tsunami just.
And so are we speaking depression?
This time around, aye.
And so, did somebody notice, or was it yourself? Or?
It was myself that noticed. I'd kind of hint it was creeping up, and I'd kind of mentioned it to pals, and it was like, I think I'm in a good place, I knew. But just jokingly, and as you do, it was like, oh God.
Yeah.
And the kids had been particularly playing up, and I just lost it. Absolutely lost it.
And so, when you're saying you lost it, was it just like you'd stopped speaking, or just?
I just snapped.
Wow.
I just snapped, and I had a decision to make, and it was:
do
I walk out the door and keep walking into the sea, or do I pick up the phone and phone a doctor?
So you was bordering on suicide?
I didn't care what I wanted. I just wanted out. Whether it was out of the house, whether it was out of everything, I just wanted out.
How did you
snapped?
How did you deal with getting it moved back around into the other side before he came back to you?
It was, well, still not back to me, but it was almost instantaneous as soon as I phoned the doctor. I mean, I phoned the doctor there and then, got through to the receptionist. She asked why I was phoning, and I just burst into tears and just says, I need help, I can't do it on him.
And they'd straight away noticed the signs.
Straight away the doctor phoned me back, and he was on the phone to me for about half an hour, and a prescription will be ready for you within an hour.
Wow.
But because I done it before, you see.
Yep, aye.
So
How far back had you dealt with depression before?
I got depression, but I got postnatal after I had Rohan.
But no before that?
Never before that.
So
no.
you was fine right up until like Corin was kind of, or was it?
Well, no, it was when Rohan was born.
Sorry, Rohan was born.
But he was born premature, so it wasn't normal.
You were dealing with that side.
I mean, I didn't get to see him until he was 2 days old, and I didn't get to hold him until he was about 2 weeks old.
So you're not really.
So I never bonded with him, and I just was assuming nothing was because I hadn't bonded properly. But then it was the health visitor picked it up. She was like, "Nah, you're not right." And then my pals picked it up because I started saying some weird stuff, and they gave me a verbal slap.
That's what I say that because your pals must have noticed you wasn't like relating with them the same, or them going, she's not really been speaking as
The
much
first
to
time round, aye.
Aye.
This time round, well, not so much because we're not seeing nobody.
Aye, nobody was. Aye.
Nobody was, and I think everybody's suffering for it, I know, to one degree or another. Whether they admit it is a different thing.
How far was you thinking? See, if we're bordering on a suicide bit, how far was you actually thinking about going there?
If I hadn't phoned the doctor, I might have done something.
And
that's why I'm saying I had a split second.
So you would have just left this house and done something?
Did I just walk out, or
wow.
Did I pick up a phone? I picked up a phone because you can't walk out. You've got kids to look after.
So that came into your mind, did it? You thought, I can't. Because there's some folk they actually follow it through, and that's it.
I couldn't leave the kids.
Yep.
I couldn't leave Paul to deal with the kids because it's a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, no, they're well behaved, I can tell it. Are we speaking about anxiety now? Coming in this?
This time around, no. I had anxiety before.
Where did the anxiety come from?
I didn't care.
Because, see, depression and anxiety, Rona, are they're kind of related, but they're not the same things,
No,
are they?
they're not the same, because when I had the anxiety, I wouldn't say I was depressed. Because I'd had the postnatal and then I'd gotten better, and then it was a few years after that, it was before Corin got ill, and then I just started hearing panic attacks, and I couldn't figure out why. I just thought he'd nothing, and we knew warning, like I'd be out at night in a fog in a garden or something, and then all of a sudden I would just be like, oh my god.
Just a worry
And I didn't even care if it was.
Did it happen when you was like just out shopping, if you was going to watch shops?
Could happen anyway. I could be lying in my bed, it could be in the middle of a conversation with my pal, it could be at work.
And so with anxiety, and if it happens there, do you just turn and you don't speak to anybody with anxiety? Is that what happens? You need to aim?
With me it wasn't that I didn't want to speak to folk, it's I tried to avoid folk because I was paranoid. With the anxiety, a lot of it was like, what do they think of me? If I say something stupid, are they got to be speaking about me behind my back? If I walked into a room and folk turned around and looked at me, it was like, they were speaking about me before I came in.
But they probably wasn't.
No, my life's no interest to anybody, so why would they have been? I mean, this was folk I didn't even ken, and it'd be like, they're judging me, they're speaking about me, they're doing X, Y, Z. And it just took a while to realise it's in your head. It's in your head. Nobody's interested in you.
And so, like, see, are we speaking, if they're doctors now, are we speaking counselling, or is it?
I had counselling, but it wasn't for me.
Not for you?
No.
So have you found something else that's kind of helped support you? In your own life, I'm speaking about.
I mean, I've family and my pals. My pals is good at being able to drag me out. My pets, but I think it's more just now that I can identify it, and when I can identify it, then I can hear that internal conversation with myself about, it's not real.
But the medication helps in that, doesn't
Medication takes the edge off.
it? Aye. Are you still on medication?
I'm on for depression just now because I've only been on it 2 months.
So without that, you'd definitely be back to the place you're now wanting to be.
I don't think I would. Because I think the problem was me holding it in.
Mm-hmm.
And as I say, as soon as I made that phone call and spoke to the lassie, the relief was instant. Just I'd spoken to somebody, I'd told somebody, and it is instantly better. It's the blocking it up that is the biggest issue.
And it would be right to say, obviously, with Corin's condition, I couldn't imagine like the stress levels. They must be high up with you through a lot of time. Every few months in the past.
At the time, you block it out, or at least I did. I can't speak for other parents.
But you can't forever, can you? A cracks has got to show through.
That's what it was. I was blocking it up and blocking it up and blocking it up for years and years and years, and then just.
What age was Corin diagnosed again? Was
5.
It 5. So life was going pretty good, kids, and then this happened, and then your life, it's never really getting back to that stage you wanting to again, I suppose, is it, in a way?
I don't think it ever will.
Aye.
I don't think it ever will, because it's always at your back of your head, new.
You've got
Is it going to come back?
worry. Which is totally understandable when you're a child. It's like, it's the last thing you want, is it? You've got in this, is everything alright this week? Is everything alright? Or every day, is it? Is it every day? Or
When she gets her scans, anybody that kens well ken when it's coming up to scan, because I stop sleeping because I'm just lying in my bed at night going fit for something in the scan, fit for something in the scan.
Wow.
Only time you see bruising on her legs, only time she gets a sniffle, only time she looks peely-wally, you're just like
Just a worry.
Aye. So you have to kind of try and retrain yourself to be like, she's going to get just normal childhood illnesses. And I suppose it's like being a parent for the first time.
Yep. Getting back to your parents and all, if you didn't mind, you lost your dad in the past, didn't you? What happened there?
All age.
Just all age?
All age, yeah.
Do you miss him?
Very much so.
Aye. See, like, with your dad, no longer with us, same as myself. Is there times sometimes that comes into the picture and I still with you? Did you have a close relationship with him?
We did, aye. I mean, my whole family's close. So, and I can say for my sisters as well, like, well, I really miss him.
Was he like the foundation of the family and our fitter?
He was a very quiet, gentleman.
Aye.
Gentleman, if it makes sense. Proper gentleman in all fashion sense of the word. But it was just, he was so clever, and you could speak to him, ask him about anything, and if you didn't ken, he would terrify you. And so it'd be like, what's this? Blah 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 blah. He was calm. And if you wanted advice about someone, he would be like, oh well, you see, and just took on in his stride. Was nice to everybody.
He was
never had a bad word.
Never a guy pushing like his views onto you. He just like guy.
No, I mean, me and my sisters are all completely different, and a lot of opinions about different things, and you never treated any of us different for thinking differently for one another. So. And I suppose it was hard because he might have been one of the ones that I was maybe going to be like, oh, I'm really struggling for the video, yes, or even just to have a bit of time out to just sit and speak about crap. And I even now, I still sometimes I'll hear something on the radio, and it'll be like, especially if it's political. I mean, I'm used to always say political barneys. And it'd be like, oh, I hate mine tell Dad that, and it's well, kinda. So I suppose it didn't help. But then at the same time, I was kind of, well, when Corin got diagnosed, it's a horrible thing to say, but I was kind of glad he was a while before she got ill. Just the fact, so he
wasn't taking on it, you know, I can see it like so. The other thing I was going to mention was like, see, the future with you? Like, if it's a future, do you hear like plans for your future now? Or is it you still don't plan out, do you?
I tend to I mean, we've got a plan for going back to work once schools and things are settled, but other than that, no, just on a wing and a prayer.
So see, we're at a stage, we're into June now. How's things for you, like your weekends? For do you get up to weekends?
Just day trips.
Aye.
Here and there. The parents like going for walks up to like Safivey Castle and stuff like that. They are wanting a bit, and they've been speaking about kind of going to more busier kind of places, but I'm still a bit.
We're a bit cautious about it, isn't it?
Aye. But no, we're venturing back out slowly, just trying to get to be fit with us doing for work. And
How do you feel about your music? Do you still listen to music now and again now? Now, like music, right? Everybody's got their own kind of styles and their own music they listen to. Would I be right in saying you might like rock bands and stuff like that?
Just maybe.
You do. I was a guess. So, like, when did that start with the music, by the way?
Oh, Academy.
And what was your favourites back then?
Metallica.
Metallica?
Danzig.
Danzig, I heard of them. And so, like, you still, this is stuff that's still, if you hear it or you put it on, you're like, wow.
Aye. I'm constantly singing in the car to the
was
parents.
Was you a rock
bleeding
chick?
lug.
You was a rock chick when you was younger?
No, I don't know if I would call myself a rock chick, because I was into indie as well.
Right, okay. So,
if you ask some of my pals about me and music, and they will say Rona and Oak Tree dancing at the Stone Roses.
But you weren't getting near pop music, would you? No.
Aye. I mean, I was a huge Duran and a half one.
Well, aye, they're massive group.
Flock of Seagulls.
Aye, Flock of Seagulls.
Flock of Seagulls.
Yeah,
Synth, 80s synth. I love 80s synth. There's no much I didn't like, to be honest.
Aye.
I like jazz.
No fan of jazz and that. And CS music, was this something to do with your mum and dad? Was they listening to this kind of stuff when you was younger?
They were country, so that's where I get my love of Johnny Cash for.
So you like Johnny Cash?
Dad was a big Johnny Cash fan. So one of my lizards was called Johnny Cash and the other one was Willie Nelson.
I kind of like that. I love when we border on music, because everybody's got such different tastes, and it's something so only specific to how you feel about music. But about nowadays, and is there any groups that's kind of new ones that you've gone, kind of like that song?
I'm quite really devastated in myself that I'm starting to like Miley Cyrus and Harry Styles.
But they're both great artists.
I can't, but
Miley's a hit machine. Harry Styles, she's going to be around for a long time, I'm sure.
I can, but I was just so disappointed in myself.
Didn't I be? Because I'm a lover of both of them, so I'm a saying. Going back to like your social life and all. See, you've got your own circle of friends and that. So I don't care about you, but I have a pretty small circle of close friends, and I like to keep it that way, and I've always kept it that way since I presume I settled down and kids and that. But how big's your circle of friends?
7 or 8.
7 or 8?
7, 8, aye.
And like Essens, have they been around since
school?
Wow.
Some of them since primary school, and some of them since academy.
And there's none you've lost along the way with like backstabbing or lying, or it does happen. No. So if we could.
I'm just saying I had lost pals along the way. Of course I have. But the main circle, says me and Louise have been pals since primary 1.
It's great you've got that relationship still going after that, so you're
and Brenda met her first year of the academy and just clicked.
And so, see here, it's not fair, is it? It's a cottage. Is that a cottage you bide in?
It's a coast.
Does folk come and visit?
Sometimes. Well, they knew.
Why not? Because when it was locked down, right, okay.
When it was locked down, they didn't know.
Right, but
sometimes it's not the kind of place you would visit on a whim.
Aye, it's like
Which
it's like
is-
out in the middle of nowhere kind of thing.
Which is why we like it. You didn't really hear people dropping in unannounced.
Aye.
So
But you like life that way.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not a person that's every weekend going, oh, are you coming in or we'll come in? And no, you could quite happily get through life without me and folk. Right, okay. So I should be privileged to be here today. Yeah, you could have said, no, I'm not really wanting you to come out and see me. So thanks for that, here in a suit. Before we go now, obviously, pets and that. Is that a bit of a healing factor for you now? Hearing the pets around?
I think so.
Every day you have to feed them and.
I think so. It's a routine, and I'm obviously a kleptomaniac when it comes to animals. But it's for the kids as well.
Uh-huh.
It's for the kids as well, because I think if you teach kids to be good to animals, then they've got to be good to people.
I love what you're saying there, because I always think the folk that don't have time for animals, if they've kids, it relates to the younger ones. Far as I'll tell you, I had a weird story. Here's a weird story. So I was selling a couple of things just lately because I was moving, and this hamster cage, and you bought one of them now.
Yeah.
But here's the funny part of it. I had another in a box, and basically brand new. Now I got 2 messages. I was just going to go to bed, and it was an angry face like and I thought, okay, and it was a chick. It was a chick. I'd Cam or something. So I'm like, oh, okay. And so I gave her a message just saying, look, if you're wanting to speak about us, you can easily come in the podcast. Didn't hear back for her, but at the same time the next morning when I woke up, checked my phone, and then there's another person I didn't ken. It was a young female again, and she came out with this thing about this. Now I hadn't sizes a cage up or nine, by the way, and I've never been a person that would be cruel to animals. However, she had an issue with this cage, and this is the RSPCA requirements and the sizes, and they wouldn't get stressed, which is fine. But my main fact about Rona was I thought, well, wait a minute, they ken nothing about me. They didn't ken how I deal with when I had hamsters before, but I got new. But I'd like a massive cage in it. But this was the first cage I bought at the time. But I kind of found it. I thought, why is people so judgmental nowadays? I'd never met in my life, never ken, but they judge me straight away. I got a angry face, and then this comment for the other person, but they was awfully friends. But I made sense of it because I actually messaged back, and I said, listen, if you're wanting to come on the podcast, and because I said it'd be great about animal welfare, and she has actually been speaking with us, so she might be coming out in the future. We'll see if it happens there. But I took a negative for if it was anybody else, they might again excuse me, kind of like in a rant, but I think this things happen for a reason sometimes in life. See, if sometimes you hear a coincidental meeting with somebody by chance, and it might be things like accidents or whatever, or just things you're not happy about. I like to take that negative and turn it into a positive.
Aye.
And like, I shouldn't be in contact with this person that mentioned, but all of a sudden we're speaking about animal welfare, so to me it's a positive anyway. So, but it was just a bit, I thought, hey, I'm getting judged here for something and I did. I've not done anything wrong here yet. So, but no weird stories with you with things like that? No. Any times in the past where there's been something kind of...
Yeah.
She's now wanting to open up about that. That's alright, that's okay.
Now that I can remember, I was probably drunk.
Speaking about drink, by the way, before we go on, so you still take a drink?
Aye.
When you can. What do you drink when you're...
Wine and rum. Not together, obviously, I'm not that bad.
And so, like, what kind of person are you when you've had a drink?
Oh, it depends what I drink.
So do you get hyper?
If I'm drinking red wine, I want to shut up.
Right, loud?
My pals will tell you that.
Aye,
I will
right,
not
okay.
stop speaking.
Right.
They have to leave the room and I'll still speak.
So, when's the last time you was in a pub? Years ago. Must have been. Yeah. Aye, a long time ago, right? Is it?
Aye.
Aye, okay. So, but it's not something you didn't miss out things new.
No, I didn't really. I mean, I still went to the pub after I had kids, but I bide out here, so I was normally driving anyway.
Aye.
I'm not a big
socialiser?
Yeah. I wouldn't say I ging out much. It's not that I didn't ging drinking pubs. It's just I didn't do. That's not something I would do often nowadays. I drunk my fill in my youth.
Aye, right, okay. It's a pity nobody recorded you back then. We could have showed it on just now after us. So. Aye. Right, okay.
No, but well, that was the days when I drank other things. So vodka, no, I'm never drinking vodka again. I got really lippy on that.
Do you miss that days?
Sometimes, but at the same time, I reckon if I could be bothered with the hustle of it nowadays.
Like, life's more peaceful out here anyway, is it?
Well, it's no, it's things more hectic now. You know, when we was out drinking in our teenage years, it was relatively safe. I mean, if you got absolutely bladdered and fell asleep on the pavement, a taxi driver would stop and take you home.
And nobody
safely.
Nobody would video you and put it on social media nowadays.
For us nowadays, you just if you got yourself into a sort of like that, you just didn't ken.
Aye.
And it's so completely different. So I didn't ken if I would want to relive that kind of days again.
That's the worst bit, I think, is it? That everybody's there's always somebody ready to take that video, and it could ruin the rest of your life, depending on what you're being.
But they not a front, so there's some of the stuff I post myself.
I've seen it. The Facetune, is it Facetune?
Face up.
Face up. Hilarious.
But no, I've not a front, but no. I mean, can't get me wrong. I would like to be able to go out partying with my pals a lot more, but nah, I'm just happy.
Aye. So you're
watching reruns of the old Grey Whistle Test.
You're now a hillybilly, is that right?
A yokel.
Okay, a yokel is a cat. I want to say thank you for coming on and for letting Corin come on in the past and And Kinnis, it's almost like hang you on. It's needed to happen anyway, because way back when we did a video like a year and a half, 2 years ago, it was such a popular video that we had to come back and revisit at some stage. And it was fine. It's fine to actually get to talk to you alone for a change. Usually Corin's wee listening or whatever.
Oh, she's be some way.
But so thanks for letting us come out past. And
looks like you're taking a cat home.
And I've got Sistine sitting on my bag here. I'll better get
in the bag.
It's just about right. So thank you very much, and all the best for the future, Rona.
Aye.
And that'll be it for this week, and we'll see you next week.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.
Sticky Trifle Podcast will return next week.
And as you can see, the love that Rona has, not just for her own children, but for animals and her pets also, it's heartwarming and it's also infectious. And it makes you realise what life's really about. Caring about anything it's living. And it leaves a question: what more do you want than a happy home? See you next Sunday. Bye.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.